Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Byron, and I'm going to be talking about the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment. So, what we're going to be learning is what exactly happened. Um, this, I'm going to be going into detail of just the logistics of what happened and why it happened, um, who and what was affected. This is a small Ohio town. Obviously, this train derailment wasn't out in the middle of nowhere. So this caused a lot of damage to people and the surrounding wildlife around the area, such as fish. The long term effects. How are people in East Palestine going to be affected long term by this? Are chemicals going to sit in the air for a while? Do we know what chemicals are in the air? And the government decisions. What did the Ohio government and also the federal government do to make sure that this was acted upon in a more responsible way, especially for the company that caused this derailment? So, this is what happened. About 2 months ago, on February 3rd, 2023, a train en route to Conway, Pennsylvania from Illinois, containing about 150 cars, derailed in the small Ohio town of East Palestine, Ohio. The derailment caused a serious damage trail, releasing toxic materials from 5 tankers. One of the chemicals, vinyl chloride, is a toxic flammable gas that is most concerning chemical that was released. They advised that people within a 1 mile radius evacuate from the area because of unforeseen consequences of what this chemical could cause. So this photo is courtesy of Janet Meek. As you can see, um, it looks like this explosion was maybe within a 5 mile radius. But you can see the sky is completely engulfed with smoke and chemicals from these tankers. It almost makes the sky look hidden. It looks like a sunrise on a summer day. Um, but this was obviously something way worse. You can see the chemicals are completely hovering over this person's home. I know if I walked outside, I would definitely be terrified um, of all these chemicals just seeping down on me. So this second photo, courtesy of Gene Poskar from the Associated Press. You can see that in the middle, all of the cylinder-like tankers that are close together, I would assume collided with each other during the derailment. You can see towards the front, the explosion is still heavily flammable. It's all of the tankers look like they've been burned, but the fire still roars on at the front, and I would assume that those are tankers as well, containing harmful chemicals such as vinyl chloride, like I um, discussed previously. So the immediate effects, at approximately 8:54 p.m. on February 3rd, a train operated by Norfolk Southern derailed in the small Ohio town of East Palestine. It's about 50 miles northwest of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, one of the biggest cities in Pennsylvania. 38 of 141 rail cars derailed and exploded, causing the toxic chemicals to be released from their confines and into the open atmosphere. Some residents were advised to immediately evacuate as a precaution. Nobody knew how far these chemicals would travel, so they told all residents within a 1 mile radius that it would be best for them to evacuate until further notice, as the investigation of the possibility of more explosions, um, and just for their general safety. Another immediate caution and a reason for their evacuation was the intentional burning of toxic chemicals to eliminate the possibility of more explosions and a potential disaster. Um, I think that the rail cars that hadn't quite exploded but were derailed and damaged, they wanted to make sure that nothing would leak out and cause even more damage, so they figured it would be best to just test it now and see what is in these rail cars. So what is vinyl chloride? Vinyl chloride was deemed as the main chemical that was a cause for concern after this explosion. It's a chemical that's used in structural building products such as PVC pipes and even the things we put in our mouths such as plastic kitchenware. I know I have PVC pipes in my house as well as I'm sure plenty of other people. It makes me think how close am I to vinyl chloride if these PVC pipes have as much in it that could be dangerous. So if this is the case, then why is this chemical so dangerous and cancer causing? It has been found that workplaces with higher levels of vinyl chloride have better chances of inhalation. Headache, dizziness, disorientation, and lightheadedness were interesting side effects because those same symptoms were reported in some residents of East Palestine after the chemical was released into the air. It was reported just a day ago that vinyl chloride was detected in a woman's urine in Ohio, citing that the potential for leukemia to occur. She did say that she had a family history of leukemia in her family, so that's obviously something very scary to think about. I wouldn't want to be there if that were me, that's for sure. So the most important aspect of what happened here is the environmental impacts and what will the possible long-term effects of the environmental impacts. So as you can see here, this is there's a guy in the background. I can assume he's just absolutely in disbelief. You can see right here, it looks like there's the lingering smoke from this big cloud here just sitting in the air, and seeping down into the closer atmosphere that we breathe. Residents in East Palestine are concerned for the future in their city, including the environment. Bodies of water near the explosion have risks of chemicals being leaked and contaminated. This is a quote from the Earth Island Journal. Water sampling shows these chemicals in the Ohio River, which provides drinking water for more than 5 million people. I live in the state of Massachusetts. I'm from the state of Massachusetts. We have a little over 5 million people in the Commonwealth. So obviously that's a lot of people. So if this is affecting more than 5 million people, then obviously this is a terrible disaster and something that we should be focused on for a while. And another important thing, wildlife, both aquatic and terrestrial, were affected as well. In just a 1-week span following the release of the chemicals, the amount of fish, amphibians, and other aquatic animals affected increased by over 12 times what it was 1 week prior. This is startling due to how important wildlife is in our lives. I believe this was from February 16th to February 23rd. So obviously it's terrible. And some of the continued impacts, this is a very similar photo, as you can see. On a more personal note, our families and loved ones were capable of making the smart, fast-acting choice that was best for them. A lot of people's first thoughts was how the chemicals would affect them. But what about our pets? Several residents reported that their pets and livestock became ill or even died after the intentional burning of fuel. Now, if you look at the photo, imagine if even more fuel was burned into the atmosphere and a prolonged cloud of smoke was prevalent. Now coming to a more personal level with our pets, and this isn't even the end. Residents and even government officials fear that these complications with pets and livestock will stick around for years to come. So the response to this, due to concerns in the state of Ohio, the state filed a lawsuit against the responsible party of the derailment, which was Norfolk Southern. They sued because they want to make sure Norfolk Southern pays for the proper cleanup of the mess that was made. The state also wants to make sure that they pay for the groundwater and soil monitoring in the years ahead and economic losses to the city's businesses. The small Ohio town is home to many small businesses, those that had to halt operation quickly after the explosion took place. Now, just like COVID, small businesses cannot stay closed for a certain amount of time or they will likely go out of business. So this is big for livelihoods in the city of East Palestine. Places like Target just the bigger chains can survive. They have stores all over the country, but the family-owned small businesses here, they can't afford to close. So this Norfolk Southern explosion was really detrimental on them. So with that being said, I hope you learned a lot from this. This is a very recent event, so every day we learn new things about this. So hopefully, we can learn more to help us be more safe. So I hope you learned a lot. Thank you.